Guys, we're going to do some World War I Wings of Glory. Oh, this is a very simple game to a very advanced game. The rule books, Aries did a good job. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you real quick. We'll switch over to the plane
tables.
To the table. We're going to show you the table and we're going to explain the game just a little bit. That way you have an idea of what it is we're going to do. So for those of you that don't know anything about it, the game is made by Aries. It's called Wings of Glory. It's a World War I aerial dogfighting game, basically with missions and stuff, and quite some interesting things. So we're going to switch the camera around, and we'll take a look at Ashley's plane and then my plane, and I'll show you the map, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me. Let's get to the board. Alright guys, so we're going to start with my plane. As you can see, I have it pulled apart right this second. So, each of your planes will come with a base. It's a clear base, so that way you can, see all your stuff. So on it, it will give you the plane name, what movement you have, the attack deck, and your damage. It also comes with these little pegs that will go into the hole. If I can find the hole. There it is. And then your plane. These are already pre-painted, very detailed, and they just sit up on your bases. And that's basically your model. Now on the card, get out of here, base. Whee! It shows you a picture of the plane. Same thing. Your A for your movement, your A for the damage deck, and then your damage, or health, basically. Your plane type, and then down at the bottom, right down over here, is your pilot. So, I'm going to hand the camera over to Greg real quick, and I'll tell you a little bit about my pilot. One sec.
Okay. She did a little research on her pilot. So
my pilot's name is Frank Luke Jr. He was born in May of 1897. He was 21 years old when he passed away. And he was ranked second among the air services pilots during the World War I. He was the first airman to receive the Medal of Honor. And his nickname was Arizona Balloon Buster. Wow. He was born in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's kind of cool. He was born here in the States. He served from 1917 to 1918 and was ranked second lieutenant and was promoted to first lieutenant after his death. Like I said, he got the Medal of Honor, 3 service crosses. He died September 29th of 1918 at the age of 21. He only saw 17 days of war. So, upcoming from right before his death, he was up on a previous mission destroying a lot of the enemy aircrafts. He volunteered to patrol and destroy German observation balloons. He was pursued by 8 German planes that were protecting the balloons. He was able to destroy 3 of the balloons and found himself under heavy fire from the planes and ground batteries. Severely wounded, he descended to within 50 meters or 164 feet off the ground, opened fire on the enemy troops, killing 6 and wounding a lot more. Forced to land, he was surrounded on all sides. He drew his automatic pistol and defended himself until he fell dead from a wound in his chest. He has a statue of himself in Phoenix, Arizona. Couple places that were named after him was the Luke Air Force Base in Arizona, Lukeville, Arizona, and Frank Luke Street in Addison, Texas. So maybe Winnie Morima, have you seen this place? Seen his statue? That'd be something you can always let us know. But that's basically my guy.
That's pretty cool. He did not live very long in the war.
No.
But he took out a whole lot of enemies.
Yep.
And as you can see, we also have a very nice Aries map to play on, one of 3 that they make.
I believe so.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give the camera over to Ashley in a minute, but I'll show you. All right, you guys, it's my turn to show you my plane. So I have an Albatross D. If you could take a look here, I'll let Ashley she's handling the camera, so you tell me is it focused in there?
You're good.
You can see these miniatures. They're got a pretty decent paint job on them. They come out of the box ready to go, like we explained. Got the firing arc here. And, of course, your damage and your stats on this. Each card, as we showed you before, each plane comes with its own card. So we researched the name. Oh, I think, is that too close?
That's almost too close. What is his name?
So don't get too close with it. His name is Paul Bäumer. I hope I'm pronounced that correctly. So I looked him up. So my pilot, real briefly, he is born May 11th, 1896. Now, he died July 15th, 1927. Ironically, he was in an air crash in Copenhagen. He was a test pilot after the war. So during the war, he served in World War I all 4 years, 1914 to 1918. So he was pretty fortunate he lived through all that. He became a German fighter ace. He did start out, I believe, in the infantry, did some dentistry work as well.
He was a doctor.
And ended up being in...
Come on, there it goes.
In their Air Force. So when he left, he left with the rank of lieutenant. His nickname was the Iron Eagle. He had 43 confirmed kills. So that's a lot of planes he shot down. He had many awards, the Military Merit Cross, the Iron Cross first and second class, and a Silver Wound Badge because he was wounded. Actually, looking at it later on, it looks like he was one of the few to have used the new parachute system because honestly, they didn't have parachutes. That sidearm wasn't really for shooting at other planes. It was, well, if my plane's going down, you have a chance to end it yourself. Know what I mean? And I believe it was the opposite plane that I'm playing against was shot him and caused him to bail out. Before he died, those two had engaged. So that's kind of interesting. So here we are. We're going to go play again against each other on this. And here, I'll get that back together, Ash. But these models are pretty cool. The miniatures are pretty nice. It's a really nice little World War I game. You don't got no fancy things. I prefer this kind of aerial fighting against the, I don't know, modern age missiles and all that stuff. This was people getting up and personal. They had to fight it out. It wasn't, I'm going to shoot you down from 30 miles away with a missile. You know, I mean, it's something completely different. And so as you can see, the map is really nice, really nice. Our goal is to get the other two if we can find them, or if you guys know of them, email us, let us know. But we're going to go ahead and get ready. We're going to play this game.
We're just going to do a little dogfight.
We're just going to do a basic dogfight now. Before we start, there's damage cards in the deck. So there's no dice in this game. When you get a hit, you pick a card. It could be 3 damage. You can see it gets more advanced.
We're not going to use any of them.
Not using the advanced. And there's different decks. This is an A deck. See the letter A?
So, like we showed you up on our cards, each of these will tell you what deck...
What damage you do.
Yep, your damage deck. So both mine and Greg's are A's.
And so here's your damage. It could be 3 points of damage. It could be 1. As you can see, it depends. It could be 0. It could be 5 points of damage.
I think that's the highest.
That's the highest in the A deck. And there are other decks in the box over there, but depending on the plane you get, they do far superior damage. There is also, I don't see it yet. I guess it's not in this first half. We're going to reshuffle. But there is an instant death card right there. So if this card is drawn, that's it.
Yep, you're automatically destroyed.
Your plane explodes. Yep. So we've got a bunch of these damage cards that we're going to sit here and shuffle and just blind draw. So there are no dice in this game. Your movement is based on what you pick for a card. Your range is determined by a range ruler.
There is a half mark right about here.
Yep.
That is if you're basically it's the stick of the plane, so halfway basically through the plane. If he's on this side, it's 2 cards. Past here is 1 card. And then anything past the stick is no-go.
So, I mean, you could draw a 5 and a 4. You could draw 9 points of damage.
You could draw 2 5s.
I think there's like 2 5s in this whole deck, or 1.
I'm just saying, it's a possibility.
it all depends on drawing the card. So this is interesting. We're going to go ahead and
get everything reset back up.
We're going to reshuffle these, and we'll be right back with some gameplay.